Welcome to the deep dive. Let's picture a scenario for a second here, because depending on where you are in your career right now, it might feel incredibly familiar to you.
Oh, absolutely.
You spent decades building this wildly successful service business right in your own backyard.
Yeah.
You've got the branded trucks, you sponsor the local Little League teams. Your reputation is rock solid.
Right. And your revenue definitely reflects that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You are this absolute giant in your local sandbox.
Yeah.
But then, if someone outside your zip code searches for you online,
You're a ghost.
you are virtually a ghost.
Yeah.
You've conquered the local game, but the digital landscape is this completely different universe.
Yeah.
And honestly, you might feel entirely locked out of it.
It's a remarkably common paradox today. I mean, we live in this era of absolute information overload. And traditional, highly successful business owners are looking at this digital ecosystem and they're panicking.
Yeah.
They know they need to, go digital. But the problem is they are burning through incredible amounts of money trying to do it the wrong way. They're taking outdated local analog strategies and just trying to force them onto a global digital framework.
Which just doesn't work.
No, the friction there is immense, and it's costing them dearly in both time and capital.
And that friction is exactly what we are going to unpack today. We have a really fascinating stack of sources for this deep dive. First, we got our hands on a raw, behind-the-scenes audio transcript of a high-level business strategy session.
Very revealing stuff in there.
Right. And we are pairing that audio with a highly specific service document. It outlines a package called the Wake Club Service Website Silver Plan.
Yeah, the silver plan.
So our mission today is to decode how traditional business owners can make a genuine local impact to global impact transformation. And the best part, we're going to look at how they manage this without having to become like dancing, trend-chasing social media influencers.
Thank goodness.
We are going to break down the exact $2,000 a month, 6-month blueprint used to get them there.
The sheer level of structure we're about to look at is what really stands out to me here. This isn't just some random list of digital marketing tactics thrown against a wall. It is a highly engineered ecosystem.
Designed to protect the business owner's time. Right.
Exactly. It bypasses their technological blind spots and exponentially scales their authority. It's about shifting a business from constantly chasing leads to creating a natural gravitational pull.
So let's start by looking at exactly who this strategy session is targeting, because the persona is incredibly specific. This entire plan is aimed at high net worth individuals, typically over the age of 55.
Yeah.
The audio specifically mentions people running successful service businesses. Think heating and air conditioning company owners, master plumbers, electricians. These are people who have built real, tangible businesses with their own two hands over 30 or 40 years.
Which brings us to the core bottleneck of their current model. I mean, these individuals are absolute masters of their craft. They have half a century of life experience, this epic entrepreneurial journey, and a wealth of hard-won knowledge.
But their model is capped.
Highly capped. Artificially capped. Right now, they rely heavily on exhausting one-on-one meetings or local networking groups to generate their leads. I'm talking about groups like BNI or the local Rotary Club.
Oh yeah, those breakfast meetings.
You know the ones, where you have to meet at 7 in the morning every Tuesday, drink bad coffee, and swap paper business cards just to maintain your referral network. They are playing a strictly local game, which inherently puts a hard ceiling on their growth.
The transcript actually has this really memorable analogy that perfectly captures the disconnect they feel when they look beyond that local horizon. The strategist says it's like owning a high-tech Tesla, but eating a 12-year-old to show you how to turn on the windshield wipers or use the dashboard.
It's so true.
These highly successful founders are terrified of new tech. And on top of that, they are camera shy. They look at the digital world, look at TikTok or Instagram, and just feel completely out of their depth.
And that hesitation makes total sense. The audio highlights a critical psychological barrier here. It's the influencer stigma. These successful founders absolutely detest the idea of seeking the limelight.
They aren't in this to be famous.
Not at all. In the recording, one of them actually tells the strategist, "I don't want my name on a building." The idea of starting a podcast or posting online feels like empty bragging to them. It goes against the humble, nose-to-the-grindstone ethos that built their company in the first place.
But the strategy session counters that hesitation beautifully with a very simple reframe. The strategist tells them, and I'm quoting here, "If we don't shine out your project, your impact, your legacy, people can't shine in."
That reframe changed everything for this demographic. It shifts the focus from vanity to service. Once they realize that withholding their knowledge is actually doing a disservice to the broader community, they become open to the proposed solution, which is podcasting.
What we have to clarify.
Right. This is not podcasting to get millions of downloads, secure massive sponsorships, or become the next true crime sensation. It is podcasting used as a hyper-efficient surgical networking tool.
Okay, let's unpack this because this completely blew my mind when I read it. Think about the old way you might build a business relationship. Someone asked to pick your brain, or you want to connect with a potential referral partner. You agree to do lunch.
The dreaded lunch meeting.
You drive 30 minutes across town in traffic. You spend an hour eating and making small talk. You wait for the check, and you drive 30 minutes back.
Right.
That is over 2 hours of your day gone for one single local connection.
It's an incredibly inefficient use of a founder's time. The new model replaces that outdated local hustle with a streamlined digital asset. Instead of that 2-hour lunch, you invite that strategic partner to do a 30-minute podcast interview.
You bring them on as a guest.
Exactly. You ask them about their personal growth, their business journey, their impact. In 30 minutes, you've built a meaningful, high-level relationship from the comfort of your own desk. You didn't waste time driving, and you've created a piece of recorded content that acts as an asset for your brand forever.
So where do these podcast listeners and these new strategic partners actually go? Because the source gets really fired up about what people are currently doing, which is essentially lighting money on fire. They pay for Google ads, they get a little bit of traffic, and they drive it to what the strategist calls an 80s-style website.
Oh, yeah. We all know those websites. They look like a late-night infomercial, the navigation is clunky, and they feature a subscribe to our newsletter box that leads to a dead email list nobody ever opens. The bounce rate is massive.
It's terrible.
The real genius of the strategy we're analyzing is that the podcast isn't the end goal. It's just the top of the funnel. The destination is driving those relationships into a central owned ecosystem. The source specifically highlights the strategic build of your school community.
For listeners who might not be familiar with that platform, spell that out for us. What is Skool in this context?
Skool, spelled with a K, is an online platform specifically built for community hosting and learning. Think of it as a hybrid between a forum, a classroom, and a social network, but without the algorithm distractions or advertisements of a Facebook group.
It's much cleaner.
It's a private, dedicated space where you can host courses, facilitate discussions, and keep your audience highly engaged in one clean interface. Moving people into a thriving school community means you are actually nurturing a network rather than just shouting into the void of the internet.
I see what you're saying, but let me play devil's advocate for a second. We've established that this avatar, the 55-year-old traditional service business owner, is terrified of the Tesla dashboard. They don't know how to edit audio, they don't know how to set up a digital community, and they definitely don't know how to syndicate a podcast. How does the strategist actually expect them to pull this off without pulling their hair out?
That is the perfect question, and it's where our second source comes into play. The Wake Club Service website Silver Plan. This is a comprehensive, done-for-you solution that systematically removes every single ounce of that technological friction. It's an outline of deliverables designed to bypass what the strategist calls the awkward stage of learning new tech.
Let's talk about the price tag on this Silver Plan first, because it's significant. The document outlines this as a $2,000 per month investment for a minimum of 6 months. Now, $2,000 a month is a decent chunk of change for someone used to just buying the occasional newspaper ad or local billboard. Why not offer a lower barrier to entry or even a free trial to get these hesitant owners in the door?
Because the psychology of pricing is crucial here, especially for high net worth individuals, the audio transcript spends time dissecting this. For a highly successful founder, if a service is free or deeply discounted, it inherently carries a lower perceived value.
They won't take it seriously.
They won't respect the process. As the strategist bluntly puts it, people who don't pay attention. The $2,000 price point ensures the business owner has skin in the game. It treats the transition not just as a marketing expense, but as a serious investment in their own personal and professional growth.
That makes a lot of sense. So let's look at how they actually execute this and solve the tech headache. What does that $12,000 over 6 months actually buy them? Because the value listed here is huge.
The very first item on the plan's list sets the tone. They provide dedicated VA support featuring 2 full-time AI-trained virtual assistants named Trexia and Rolando.
Wow, so you're not just getting a software subscription. You're getting actual named support staff.
Alec.
I can imagine that instantly makes the digital transition feel manageable for a tech-shy founder. Instead of log into this portal, it's send this to Trexia.
Precisely. It shifts the burden of execution entirely. Look at the podcast strategy we discussed. The plan includes complete podcast automation directly to Spotify. The business owner literally just has to show up, hit record, have a great conversation, and then Trexia and Rolando handle the editing, the uploading, and the syndication.
What about the front end? How are people finding the podcast or booking these strategic meetings?
The plan covers that comprehensively. They build a custom automated landing page specifically for the podcast and other resources. They also design a custom Linktree platform for all your content.
Right, for those who don't know, a Linktree is essentially a single digital menu or mobile landing page that houses all your important links, your community, your podcast, your main website in one clean spot.
Exactly. And to eliminate the nightmare of emailing back and forth to find a meeting time, the plan includes a fully automated Calendly booking system and setup.
Which means no more, "Are you free Tuesday at 3?" emails. It's all seamless. They instantly present as a polished global professional from day one, completely avoiding that amateurish phase where links are broken and audio sounds terrible.
Now, presenting as a professional online is one thing, but to charge premium prices and create massive demand, perception is reality. You have to look the part of an industry authority. And the Silver Plan goes surprisingly heavy on creating what they call visual pop, to elevate the client's status.
Yes, and this part fascinated me because it bridges their traditional local world with their new global positioning. For instance, the plan includes custom, beautifully designed business cards for that in-person visual pop.
Mm-hmm.
But then it takes it a massive step further, getting the client published in a community magazine with them actually featured on the cover.
Think about the impact of that. Why does a local service owner need to be on a magazine cover? Because instant, undeniable authority translates directly to trust. Imagine handing out a magazine with your face on the cover instead of a standard brochure.
It's a game changer.
To add to that, the plan positions them as a live event speaker and provides finished, professionally edited videos of them on stage.
And to maintain the high-touch, personal relationships that traditional business owners value so much, the plan implements a send-out cards design and implementation system. If you haven't heard of this, it's a brilliant platform where you can type a message digitally and it automatically prints, stamps, and mails a physical greeting card to your client or partner.
It completely automates thoughtfulness while maintaining that old-school personal touch.
But all of this visual pop isn't just vanity, is it? It's the foundation for a much deeper thought leadership blueprint.
Right. The 6-month roadmap systematically builds the founder's intellectual property. The plan provides a focused, targeted content strategy plan. It moves them into creating and building their own custom workbook and strategy. And the capstone is that it provides actual coaching to help them outline and create their very first authoritative book.
They are literally writing the book on their industry. But as we look at all these deliverables, the podcast, the magazines, the books, the transcript, makes a very profound point. The strategist argues that your business will never grow beyond your own personal growth. If your mindset is stuck in a local scarcity model, all the digital tools in the world won't help you.
Which is why the Silver Plan is underpinned by serious, high-level personal development. This isn't just a marketing agency, it's a coaching hybrid. The plan integrates the certified high-performance coaching model developed by Brendan Burchard.
That's huge.
It really is. It also provides a Growth Day membership, granting the founder access to the largest global personal growth community in the world.
It's preparing the founder mentally for the scale that's about to hit them. Because once you implement the podcast, the authority markers, and the digital tools, you have to manage the community. And that brings us back to the school platform.
Exactly. Building the school community is strategically integrated into the plan, but more importantly, the roadmap includes a framework for engaging your own school community for 10x growth. You aren't just inviting people into a digital room and leaving them there. You are keeping them active, nurtured, and learning.
And when you combine that engaged, owned community with the rest of the ecosystem, the results compound rapidly. The Silver Plan includes social media amplification to drive top-of-funnel awareness. It purposefully connects you to a larger network and podcast guests.
Plus, it gives them access to 9 digital online training programs specifically focused on global impact and being a key person of influence online.
It is a masterclass in shifting a business from a push dynamic to a pull dynamic. By limiting the supply of their one-on-one time, no more driving across town for a lunch meeting, and drastically increasing their global visibility, they are building global demand for you and your business. And as any business owner knows, when you create massive demand, you are able to command premium pricing. The ultimate goal, as stated directly in the plan, is a local impact to global impact transformation.
Which brings us to the absolute core philosophy of this entire deep dive. If we distill this massive 22.6-month blueprint down to its ultimate purpose, it is found right there near the end of the document. The goal of automating the tech, building the community, and writing the book is to allow the business owner to focus on your genius zone, the 3 things only you can do.
That really is the synthesis of everything we've discussed today. The reason this strategy session and the Silver Plan are so effective is because they acknowledge a harsh truth about scaling. You cannot reach a global level of impact if you are still the one tinkering with WordPress plugins, editing audio files, or answering basic calendar emails.
You just can't.
By building this custom AI-supported ecosystem, the traditional business owner stops wasting time on local limitations and operational fiction. They step fully into global leadership, operating purely within their genius zone, whether that's casting the vision, cultivating key relationships, or innovating their core service.
It is such an empowering shift, and it brings us right back to you listening to this right now. Think about your own digital footprint, your own daily schedule, whether you are running a local service business, a consultancy, or you're just a professional feeling totally overwhelmed by the digital landscape. The big takeaway here is clear.
You absolutely do not need to be a tech-savvy, camera-loving influencer to have a global impact. You don't have to change who you are or compromise your professional dignity. You just need the right ecosystem, an engaged community, and the willingness to invest in your own growth to get out of your own way.
Which leaves us with a fascinating challenge to consider as you go about the rest of your day. Looking closely at your own daily routine, if a dedicated AI-trained team suddenly took over all your operational tech and scheduling tomorrow, what are the only 3 things that truly belong in your genius zone?
Something to really think about. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.